Did you know that 90% of all people who try to sell products on Amazon.com fail? That's right. 90% of the people who try to sell products on Amazon.com fail. They usually end up losing money. But that's not because there's not a great opportunity, because selling on Amazon.com has created thousands of million-dollar businesses. Just look at this data from Marketplace Pulse. More than 140,000 people in 2017 alone did over 100K selling products on Amazon. That number's gone up in 2018. 20,000 of them, according to numbers from Amazon, did over $1 million in sales in a single year worldwide. That's a phenomenal number, and it's only continuing to grow. But here's the typical new Amazon seller. Let's take Johnny. Johnny watches some free YouTube videos, or maybe he takes a paid course from somebody to get the basics of getting rich. Then he's super confident that this is super easy. Johnny uses a free or cheap software tool, to go out there and find a great product to sell. Then Johnny uses a site like Alibaba or a couple others that are online in order to order, probably overpaying about 500 units to try this out. Johnny then gives away or uses pay-per-click advertising to sell about 300 units at a loss to try to rank onto page 1. Johnny sells the remaining 200 units he's got left out of his 500, and he quickly runs out of stock. Now he's got to go back and he's got to order more from the factory and rush them by air freight at a super high cost. Plus, he probably hasn't even been paid yet for the ones that he sold, so he's got to dig into his pocket and spend more money. But he's still out of stock for 2 months. His bestseller rank, or BSR, is going down, and he falls off of page 1 down to maybe page 19 or 20 or off the grid. So Johnny when he comes back into stock, he gives away or uses pay-per-click advertising to sell 300 more units to get back onto page 1, again at a loss to regain his rank. And then he sells the remaining 200 units, but you know what? He still has not made a profit. All he's doing is going round and round. So totally in debt, Johnny quits, and he tells all of his friends that Amazon FBA doesn't work. It's a scam. Don't listen to all these people that are teaching it. It's just not true. He can't achieve his dreams this way, but there is a way to achieve your dreams. There's 4 keys to success on Amazon. The first one is pick profitable products. You can't get emotionally tied to any one product. You've got to create a really good listing that's optimized for price, images, keywords, and target market. You've got to drive traffic to your listing so Amazon thinks you're relevant and that you're wanted, and then you just rinse and repeat. Those are the basics you must master. But here's the problem. Most people can't do that. My name is Kevin King. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, and I also teach people how to sell on Amazon. I've been selling since 2001, and I've done millions of dollars in sales on Amazon. I speak at events for Amazon sellers all over the world. I'm paid big money, 4 and 5 figures, to come and speak and teach people how to sell on Amazon. I use a method to pick products to sell on Amazon, though, that 99% of all sellers don't know. Everybody's teaching a little formula. It fits in a box. It weighs under this amount. It can be air freighted over. Look for things that cost this much. And the problem is that's what everybody's doing. And nobody succeeds there except the very, very few. So I would like to show you, if you'll let me, a cool way to actually pick products based on your budget so that you don't run out of stock and so that you can properly scale your business. Would that be okay for me to do? We've got just about 5 minutes here, and I'll go through it really quick for you. So let's go. The most important thing you can learn today is the product that you choose to sell is the biggest contributor to your success or your failure on Amazon. The problem is there's a lot of Amazon courses, and there's a lot of free YouTube videos and Facebook groups all teaching the same thing, usually by instructors who really aren't selling much on Amazon. So you got to be very, very careful who you listen to and who you follow. A lot of it's outdated, a lot of it's just simply wrong, and a lot of people that are teaching aren't doing, or maybe they did 3 years ago and they're not teaching anymore. So the worst part even is they use the same third-party tools and all the exact same formulas and teach people, and they make it look easy and simple, and the fact is most people fail. That's like going to the beach on a holiday weekend. Everyone else is there too, but it gets crowded really fast and the water's full of pee. So I have an advantage I want to show you right now, a way to pick products that 99% of people do not know. I'm about to show you how to get to empty beaches like this. The number one key to success on Amazon is mathematics and data analytics. If you're not good at math or data analysis, you need to get someone on your team that is, because this is how all the big sellers that are doing millions of dollars, this is how they crush it. It's not by picking a great product and putting it up. You got to know the math, you got to know how to do the data, you got to know how to do the cash flow. It's a major thing most people don't teach. So I recommend starting with at least 2.5 times your initial inventory cost. People always say, Kevin, how much money do I need to start this business? I say it's 2.5 times your initial inventory cost. So that's going to determine how much money you have. That's going to determine what kind of products you can go after. So for example, let's say you have $10,000 to start. Maybe you only have 1,000, or maybe you get 50,000. It varies. But let's say you have $10,000 that you've scraped together to start this business. That's a fair number that gives you a good shot. You need at least 5 to 10,000 to really have a good shot. The more, the better. But let's say you have 10,000. So you're going to divide that 10,000 by 2.5. So that means you got about $4,000 that you can spend on your initial inventory. The mistake a lot of people make is they have $10,000 and they go out there and buy $7, $8, $9,000 worth of inventory, or maybe all 10,000, and then they get in that same cycle as Johnny. So what you want to do is you want to pick products that are based on your cash flow and based on your investment, because what's going to happen if you're successful is you're going to run out of stock, or you're going to sell through your products before your next round comes in. And that's like starting over every time. You just repeat this vicious cycle where you have cash coming in, but you're actually not making any money. So what I like to do is create a spreadsheet that looks something like this. It just gives me a rough estimate of what type of products I need to look for. So if I've got $10,000, I can go and I can find products that sell 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 a day. But whichever one of those I choose, the higher the sales per day, the more competitive it is. So I like to go somewhere in the middle. So if we just say like something that sells 15 units per day on Amazon, that's about $450 a month. I'm going to have to need a rough estimate of about 120 to basically give away for next to nothing in order to get ranking on Amazon. I got my $4,000 investment. So basically I can spend about $7 on a product, give or take. These are estimates. So about $7 on a product that includes making the product and getting it into Amazon. The air freight, the customs, the duties, that's called landed cost. And I need to sell that for between $28 and $63. Not for $14.95. I see people do that all the time. Not for $19.95. You need at least a 4x to 9x margin on what you're paying. At least if the unit is under $100, you need between a 4 and 9x to have a fighting chance. Otherwise, it's just a race to the bottom, and you're making pennies, or maybe you're giving dollars to Amazon. So how do I find products like this? I use a secret weapon called Black Box by Helium 10. It's one of the top software suites that's out there, but what they do is they re-index Amazon in a way that we can search for it not as a customer, but as someone looking for opportunity. So if I have my $10,000 to start, remember, based on my little spreadsheet I showed you, that means the price needs to be between about $28 and $63. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool to search over 450 million products that are on Amazon, to find ones that are doing well that I maybe can go in there and mimic or make a little bit better or tweak it and come in and compete. So the price between $28 and $63 in this example, I'm going to say the monthly sales need to be at least a minimum of $450, and I'll just put a number up to $600. You're going to adjust these based on your requirements. The review count, I don't want people that don't have any reviews because maybe they just started. So I want them to see at least a minimum of 20 reviews. And I don't want someone that has a lot of reviews on Amazon. Maybe they've got 100 or 150 or 200. They don't have 1,000 or 10,000. That means they don't have a lot of reviews, but they're still doing well. So that's a super important criteria. I want people that have a review rating, because the highest is 5 stars on Amazon, but maybe I want 4 or less. That means there's probably a problem with the product that maybe I can go in and I can fix the problem when I make my product. So 4 or less in this particular case means like, look, someone's got a product that's got some issues, doesn't have a lot of reviews, but they're selling for between $28 and $63. There's only one seller on the listing, so I can say, show me only the people. There's only one guy, so there's no competition with this guy. I can say, show me something that doesn't have variations. Variations are things like sizes or colors. I don't want something when I'm first starting that has a lot of complication to it. Keep it simple, so it's not a whole bunch of sizes, because if there's sizes and colors, you have to decide which color should I do, and it just costs you more money in the beginning. Do that later. So once I've punched all that in, this tool will spit back a bunch of product ideas. And I can scroll through these that match that criteria. So it goes through 450 million products, and it shows me the ones that match this criteria. And I'm going to scroll through there, and let's say I found these 3 here that look pretty good to me. Basketball shooting, a net, mini spy camera, and some sort of coaches things. These look interesting. Some of these are one's doing 16,000 a month, one's doing 18,000, another one's doing 17,000. So I'm going to take a deeper look. I'm going to use a tool called the Profitability Calculator from Helium 10 that will run some numbers for me, and I can see that the one on the left, the spy camera, has the highest ROI. I don't look at profit percentage. I look at ROI because ROI is called return on investment. It's what determines how fast you can grow your business on Amazon. How fast are you turning over your money? It's a critical number. So I go for higher ROI. I like a minimum of 150%. A lot of people don't pay attention to this. They just pay attention to profit. And what happens is they grow really slow, or they don't grow at all, or they tie up all their money and they can't go from 10,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 to $1,000,000. They're kind of stuck in the same place. So if I take a look at this product on the left that I found based on my criteria, this spy camera, I look at it on Amazon, the listing looks like this. It's like a little boxy spy camera. I can go over to Alibaba and I can just to get an estimate. I'm not going to talk to the factory. I'm not going to send any emails. I just want to get a ballpark estimate of what this thing's going to cost. They say $5.90 if I order over 200 of them. I'm going to add a little bit to that, like 10%, just to pad it, just for maybe I put in a nice package or there's some other cost. So on the profitability calculator on the left in the blue, I put $6.60. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spy camera, this one right here, I'm going to take the product ID number from Amazon. It's called an ASIN, A-S-I-N. And I'm going to put it, it's up in the red box. It starts with a B, and it's got a bunch of numbers and characters after it. I'm going to stick it in another tool from Helium 10 called Cerebro. And inside this tool, what it's going to do is it's going to make a really good guess on which keywords are people typing into Amazon to find this product. What are people typing to find this product? Because my goal is I want to figure out what they're typing in, figure out which one of those aren't so competitive, so that I can get my product onto the page when people are typing that in and make sales without having to compete against a whole lot of people. So once it's going to spit back a bunch of results, and it might give me 10,000 results of possible keywords. Well, that's too many to go through. So I'm going to filter it down even further. This is all happening within like seconds. I'm going to say I want at least 1,000 searches a month. 1,000 searches a month for a keyword on Amazon. I want no more than 1,000 other products competing for it. Really, the only ones that matter are the top 200 or 300. But I don't want something that's got 100,000 products showing up for it. 1,000 or less, maybe 5,000 or less. I want at least 2 words in the keyword. So the word like dog is not as good as dog bowl or dog leash. The longer the word count, the better. So I'm going to put at least 2 words there. It's going to spit back and narrow these keywords down to just a handful of keywords that this thing is probably making sales on. And you can see here in the red box, one of the keywords is NannyCam's wireless with cell phone app. It's telling me that the 11,325 people a month approximately are searching for that on Amazon. There's a couple people running some ads, and there's only 483 competing products. I'm like, wow, man, that's not bad. Look at the one in blue. It's a Camaras Espias. It's in Spanish. A lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of people searching Amazon.com in Spanish, so you got to think about Spanish words too. But look at it, it's got 8,500 searches a month and only 772 competitors. Those look like some great opportunities to me. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to see, let's see how much money these people might be making. So if on the word Camaras Espias, the Spanish word, this is in the US market, I'm going to type that into Amazon using the Chrome browser, and again with the Helium 10 tool, there's an extension that you just hit a little icon up in the top right corner, and you hit this one called X-ray, and it kind of takes an X-ray of what's happening on Amazon, and it will give you these sales estimates and show you what kind of sales volume products are making on Amazon. It's an estimate. Well, so you can see here there's about over $500,000 a month being sold based off of this type of product estimated, and it's going to give you the average and some other stuff there. But the thing I'm most wondering is how many sales are they making, how many units. So I'm going to sort that column in the red box from the highest sales to the lowest sales. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go scroll over these ASINs, or these product ID numbers on the left, and up pops a little image. And that little image, I want to see which ones look like my little square camera. So the one on the left looks like my little square camera. The one on the right doesn't. It's like a ball. That's a different type of mini camera. So I'm going to choose between 6 and 10 of the ones that look like mine, that are most similar to mine, because that's really what my my audience is, and that's what I want to kind of mimic or copy on Amazon. So it's going to spit back. I'm going to put those all into the Cerebro tool again, and it's going to compare them all to each other. And so then I'm going to do a little bit more sorting. I'm going to go in, I'm going to put in these red boxes, I'm going to say show me a search volume of at least 300 a month. At least 300 people typing keyword a month. Show me that there's no more, in this case I put 8,000 competitors. I want to see the average rank to be 24 or lower. That means they're pretty much on the first page of Amazon, because if you're not on the first page of Amazon, you're probably not making too many sales. I want to see at least 3 of these competitors ranking, and I want to get a competitor performance score of 8 or higher. And so what this is going to do is going to filter down. It's going to compare all these that I've typed up there. You can see that at the top there's 8 of them. There are 8 little different cameras, different people selling them, and it's going to take all the data from Amazon, it's going to mesh it together, and it's going to compare them one to the other and do all this complicated math, and it's going to see where is the opportunity. And so once it finds that opportunity, it's going to spit back something like this: a handful of keywords. Now I've narrowed down to this like very specific place of where can I go in here, potentially sell this product and potentially make a lot of money. So you can look here in the green column. It shows me I've got it sorted by search volume from the highest to the lowest. So like mini spy cameras, 9,000 searches a month. The CPR 8-day giveaways in the red box, that's about how many you need to use as a promotion to launch to page 1 on Amazon. You need to actually give some away at a heavy discount in order to kind of juice the system to get onto the first page. And so I need to give away about 176. That's quite a few. And the rank average for that particular keyword is 22. So that means a lot of people that are selling these little box video cameras, the little tiny mini ones, if they're in a position number 22, that's probably not one of the best keywords. One of the better keywords is going to be a lower number, somewhere where they're in position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something. So as I scroll through this, I can see that, look at the ones in yellow. Camaras espias on the far right, the average is position 9. And the next one is 14, and then 20, and 22, and then 11, and so on as you go down the page. But I can see that these have decent search volume. There's not a lot of competition, and I think I can go in there and compete because there's not a lot of people doing this. You don't want to go after the big high volume keywords. That's where the mistake a lot of people make. You want to go more in the middle to low range when you're first starting, and then work your way up. That way you don't burn through a lot of money, and you can prove the product and you can get it up and going, and then later on you go after the big keywords and you just start to crush it. So if I go back to my calculator, which I had earlier, and I say out of all those ones in yellow, all these ones in yellow here, I'm going to maybe target those. When I launch my product, I'm going to try to make sales off of these 5 when I first start. And so I'm going to put them into a little spreadsheet here, and the 5 you can see in the keywords, and then I have my search volume that I took from the tool, and my how much do I need over 8 days to rank for this product to get on the first page. And I like to always say that if I do my job right, I can sell about 4% of that search volume. That's what I like to say. Sometimes it might be 20%, depends on how well you do it. Sometimes it might be 50%, sometimes it might be 1%. But I'm going to say, look, I think I can get at least 4%. That's a pretty conservative number. So based on these numbers right here, that I could probably sell about 703 units per month at $33 a piece, which is $23,000 in gross sales. Or based on the calculator, where it's calculating all the fees that Amazon charges, all my storage fees and Amazon's commissions and all that stuff, I'm going to have about a 54% profit, which is $12,652 per month off of this product if I do everything right. So what that means is if I put $10,000 in to start this, that could generate a gross profit of about $100,000 in a year. Now, there's some other cost in that. That doesn't mean you put 100 grand in your pocket. You might have to do a little bit of advertising. You might have some software tools expenses. Could be some returns or a little bit of overhead. But still, that's a pretty good number. And that's just one little product. Not too many other businesses can you put $10,000 in and get 100 grand back in a year. I mean, it's pretty freaking amazing what you can do on this Amazon business. And so I want you to repeat after me. I can do this. Say, I can do this. Even if you don't have an idea of what you're going to sell right now, you can do this. You really, really can. But wait, the money gets even better when you sell your company. If you get into this Amazon business and you're successful by doing it right, within 2, 3, or 4 years, you can sell for potentially millions of dollars, because that's when the big payday comes. Because right now there's huge money out there. There's over $1 billion in private equity capital that is looking to buy Amazon based businesses that are selling on Amazon. They don't want to do the dirty work at the beginning. That's up for me and for you. But they want to come in once you've proven the concept. They have a lot more money. They take it over and they grow it even more. Maybe they take it from the US and they put it in the European market and the Japanese market, things that we might not be able to do because we're a little more strapped on cash. But they see that opportunity. There's tons of opportunity here. Look at my friends David and Leah. I mean, they're two cute little kids. Actually, three now. They just recently had their third. In 2014, they started selling on Amazon. He didn't quit his job. He kept working his job, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and she did some of the work, and they would work in the evenings and the weekends. They only did about $28,000 in sales. They provided these screenshots to me. In 2015, they did about $1.1 million in sales, and after Amazon's fees, they had about $688,000. Now that's not profit, because they still have to pay for their things and pay for the products and other things, but that's what Amazon gave them after Amazon took all the fees for shipping and for commissions and everything. 2016, they went up to 2.6 million in sales, and Amazon paid them 1.6 million, almost 1.7 million dollars. So from that 1.7, they told me that was roughly about a $900,000 profit. They'd have spent about $700,000 on buying the stuff and other expenses, but they made about a $900,000 profit on that. That's pretty freaking good. But look what happened in 2017. They sold the business for $4 million in cash. They sold it for $4 million in cash. Now what they're doing is they paid off some bills. They went to like a $2,000 dinner at some really fancy restaurant and treated themselves. They put money away for their three kids' college fund. And now what are they doing? They're doing it again in another category with a bunch of money in the bank. And this time they're going to try to get to sell it for over $10 million in just a couple years. It's incredible leverage to what you can do. And like I said, the private equity firms are targeting this big time right now. I mean, there's companies selling for anywhere from, small ones for $12,000 up to $73 million. I mean, there's like 8 different brokers that specialize in this. So if you can come into this business and set it up and do it right, you could have a very, very nice payday that could totally change your life in 2 to 4 years. I mean, where else can you do something like this? If you took $5,000 and you put it into the best mutual fund on Wall Street, you would have about $7,600 after 3 years, roughly, an ROI of about 52%. If you took that same $5,000 and assuming a few things here that I show you in this example, you can take a screenshot and read it later, you would have about $54,000 in that same 3 years, or an ROI of nearly 1,000%. That's why this can be so lucrative if you do it right. You can't be one of those 90% that fails and does it wrong, though. You got to treat it like a real business and do it right. And that's why private equity, over $1 billion worth of it, is coming into this, because they're looking and seeing these ROIs, and it's crazy. And so the first year, I always recommend you learn and you earn. The second year, you optimize your business. The third year, you prepare to sell. And the fourth year, you cash out. This is a 4-year plan. Sometimes you can accelerate this to 2 years. Some people have done it in less than a year, but typically just plan on a 4-year plan. But this can totally change your life. That's why selling on Amazon right now is the greatest opportunity out there, because it can change lives and the financial future of a family. So I don't know about you, but I think you should probably be getting excited at what you just learned. And this is just a snippet. I've gone through this really, really fast, and just to give you a quick idea. But I've got 7 mind-blowing secret strategies on how to find winning products to sell on Amazon at huge profits. And I want to share that with you. It's totally free. It's the 7 secrets that I share in a free webinar. You don't have to pay anything. And I go into more detail than I just went now. And I go a little bit slower so you can actually follow along even better. These 7 secrets, I'm going to show you how to pick profitable products based on your budget and to avoid the common mistakes. I'll show you exactly how to determine the exact keywords you should rank for and how you're going to make money. I show you a way to find good suppliers that very few people know about. I show you a strategy that uses customer reviews so that you can beat the pants off your competition. I'll show you how to properly use pictures and photos to your advantage, even if you're on a budget and can't spend much on photography. I'll show you how to get protection from your competitors to keep them from stealing your ideas and piggybacking on all your hard work and stealing some of your sales. And I'll show you exactly how you could walk away with a huge payday, perhaps even millions of dollars in just a few years. So if you want to learn how to do this in more detail, and like I said, this is totally free, just go to freedomticket.com. There's a webinar there that you can just click the register my spot, and you can choose a time that you want to listen to the webinar. You can watch yesterday's webinar, or you can pick a time tomorrow or the next day. Whenever you've got a couple hours set aside, it's totally free, and you're going to learn all of these 7 secrets totally for free. So go to freedomticket.com and check that out. When you register a spot, you can just select the date and the time that works for your schedule. Doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the night, early in the morning, whenever you want to do it. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to show you in more detail how this whole process works. So if you've liked what I've showed you in this video, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And I want to say thanks, and I'll see you at freedomticket.com.